Hi, I'm Swetha.
I'm Venkatesh. Both of us are IT professionals working in Chennai, but based out of Kerala.
I came to know about Birthvillage through social media. I follow Swati Jagdish, and there was an interview that she had taken with Priyanka. After seeing this, I was mind blown and really convinced that when I have a baby, I want to have it in Birthvillage. Funny part is that I had not even met Venkatesh back then. It was like 3 years ago. But this interview really put a lot of things in perspective, and I wanted to share this with whoever it is that I would be marrying. Yeah.
And once the time was right, we had an online consultation with Birthvillage where we spoke to Priyanka in detail. Post which we wanted to come in person and look at facilities in Birthvillage and maybe also have a conversation with the medical team available. So we came down from Chennai. We had an in-person consultation with one of the midwives, and that was a point when I think both of us were quite convinced that this is where we want our child to be birthed. Primarily because of two reasons. One is the care that Birth Village provides not just for the baby, but also for the mom, and how the philosophy that Birth Village believes in was to give an equal importance to not just the baby but also to the mom. That was one primary reason for us. And the second reason was the way we were treated, or the environment that was given for us, even during a normal counseling session, was really very calming. And also, the midwife whom we interacted with was uh, so down to earth, and she was all ears to listen to all our questions, however silly it may be. That kind of gave us an assurance that we are probably at the right place.
Our first appointment was about 1.5 hours long, and when we told others about this, they were all shocked. Wait, you had a 1.5 hours long appointment? This is something that you would not have in any other institution, because we were so comfortable and we asked a lot of questions and cleared a lot of things in that particular appointment, and that's when we decided. Yeah. My pregnancy journey was very smooth. It was too smooth even until the time, I think, around the 6th month of pregnancy. That's when we found out that I had gestational diabetes. So we were consulting our doctor in Chennai, and my fluid levels in the scan was a little bit on the higher side, not too high, but a little bit high. So she suggested that we check the blood sugar levels, and it was also a bit high. Uh, and so was our stress levels, a little bit high after finding out that this was the case. We consulted a diabetologist in Chennai, um, and the doctor suggested that I should start on medication. I could not accept this because there is no family history of diabetes in my home. My expected due date was supposed to be on July 12th. You might have heard a lot of stories where mothers have birthed in their 40th week, 41st week, and 42nd week. And as this was my first pregnancy, our midwife in Birthvillage had also told us to expect this, that your date may go beyond July 12th as well. Be prepared. There's no need to worry. Everything will be fine. The team will be continuously monitoring if at all that happens. But what happened in our case was completely different. Um, I gave birth to our beautiful baby boy on the third day after 36th week. This is how it happened. On June 15th, I woke up with a mild gassy feeling, and I went about my normal day. I attended the prenatal workout class that Shara conducts. I really love those classes, by the way, hoping that these sort of uncomfortable feelings would pass. Then I went for a walk with my husband, all the while feeling a bit uncomfortable, a sort of gassy feeling. But this did not go away after all of this. Around noon, this had sort of intensified into a small, I would say, something that felt like period cramps. And I was convinced that these were false contractions. So I contacted the medical team and told them that I'm feeling this way, I'm uncomfortable, I'm having these mild contractions, totally bearable, but I'm having these contractions. Because it was a bit irregular, maybe I timed them wrong, which is most likely what happened. Uh, I again told them that I'm convinced these are false contractions. So they asked me to take plenty of rest, have a lot of water, fluids, and just relax. And it was a Sunday as well, I don't have to work. That's what I was doing. I had a lot of fruits, had water, tender coconut, took a lot of rest. I skipped my I skipped my evening walks after my meals, climbing the stairs, everything. I skipped all of that and I just relaxed. By night time, my husband decided to go to his parents' place, which is about 45 minutes away from where I live, from where my parents' house is. And I did not stop him because I'm having false contractions anyway, right? So what can happen? I would not be giving birth to a baby that day. So my husband went over there, and I was observing how I'm feeling. Around 9:30ish, the pains had increased, and I was a bit concerned about what's going on. I contacted the medical team, and they asked me to have a lot of water, have plenty of rest, and just go about the rest of the day. By night, my contractions were increasing in intensity, but I was not ready to accept that I'm in labor. My mother, on the other hand, she had her doubts. She was kind of convinced that I'm in labor, but I would not let her speak anything about it. Around 1 a.m., the pains were again increasing, and I had mild spotting as well, I guess around 2:30ish. And that's when I finally accepted that, okay, this is happening. I'm in labor. I will be giving birth to a child today. I also had started to get the pushing sensation. The medical team told me to rush or come over to the birth village immediately, and my husband was not with me.
But neither me or Swetha were expecting things to turn around so drastically and quickly. By around 3 o'clock in the morning, I got call from Swetha's mom saying that the pains have intensified and we've seen spotting as well. So it's almost time and we need to rush to Birth Village. So I drove the ride of my life, covering around 15-16 kilometers in around 13 minutes, which I've never done. And from Swetha's place, we rushed to BV. It was around 3:30 in the morning, and we reached BB around 4 o'clock.
Priyanka and a nurse, they were waiting outside Birth Village when we reached there. The nurse, she opened the door and held out her hand to me. Throughout the day, when I was having these contractions, I did not shed a single tear when I was managing the contractions by myself. But when she did that, when she held out her hand and I placed my palm on her hand, that's when I finally cried. I just gave all control to them. I completely trusted them. So they slowly took me by my hand from out of the car and hugged me and told me to relax. And I did. That's when I relaxed. Throughout the day, I was having these feelings to myself, keeping everything to myself. But that's when I finally relaxed. Uh, Priyanka asked me to take deep breaths and that it's going to be okay, and I believed her. We walked to the birthing room, and on the way itself, I think I had four contractions. All the while, they were both helping me with small massages on my back and asking me to breathe, calming me down and relaxing me with their voice. After we reached the birthing room, Priyanka asked me if she can check me to check how far along am I, how far I'm dilated. Now, I've heard a lot of horror stories about PV, and I'm sure most of you too have heard people saying how painful it is. So I was dreading it, like many people do. I think she saw it in my face and she asked me if I'm scared. I did not speak anything, but she got the hint. She told me that it's going to be okay. She's done it plenty of times and I will not feel any pain. So I trusted her and I did not feel any pain. She was super gentle and I did not even realize that it is over. So she checked how far I'm dilated and I was already 6 to 7 centimeters dilated.
What happened after that was a sentence that Priyanka said, which will probably stay with us for the rest of our lives. She asked, looking at both of us, how do you guys feel having a baby in the next 3 hours? I think it's an unexplainable feeling. The waiting of 10 months, or rather 9 months, coming to a climax. Neither me or nor Swetha were actually prepared to hear that at that point of time.
In about 4 hours, our little bundle of joy came into the world, uh, and Priyanka showed him to us. And we did not check the gender at first. We were just so happy that we have our baby, that we are holding him, that this is real. It's life is getting real. So it was a bliss, pure bliss that moment. Yeah.
So to conclude, if there is one point that we would want to share with expecting parents, it would be that do not go by the expected due date. It is just another date. So be prepared. And I believe, like Priyanka always mentions, the baby knows when to come out, right? Nobody else knows it better. Contrary to popular belief, where we've been traditionally trained to believe that birthing is probably a women only thing, I personally felt, or rather believed, that it is a shared journey, and there is a reason why we call each other as partners. After seeing Swetha in close quarters, I have realized that it's not just the physical part of the whole process which is very tiresome or very tough on the women, it is the mental aspect of it as well. And even though we as men are not able to support them physically because the pain needs to be borne by the women, we can do our part. In fact, we can do a significant contribution here by always being available for them as an emotional support. And it was my personal wish to be with Swetha on the day of delivery, and I'm glad it happened. On a personal level, after seeing Swetha go through the kind of pain on that specific day, my respect for mothers probably increased a thousandfold. And the first thing that I did was come out and talk to my mom and tell her how much I value her.
There's a common myth that women who look like me, who have a slim figure, cannot exclusively breastfeed their babies. I want to tell you, at least from my personal experience, that this is complete nonsense. If somebody is telling you this and feeding these things into your minds, please do not completely believe them. What actually matters is if you have balanced meals, and above that, if you have a strong intention to breastfeed. This nature has created your body, and it is way more intelligent than you possibly think you are. So trust the body, trust nature that created the body. It knows what it's doing.